Can I tell you something? My sister and I made a discovery on our last trip to Finland that we never thought we would. Okay, I'm gonna sit down for this because I've got some stuff to show you. In May, we went to Finland. Well, actually, I flew into Helsinki to meet my sister who'd already been traveling around in Europe. And we had a lot of exciting things to do and researching our family history in a very short amount of time because I only had a little bit of time off work to do this. So we divided our trip into three. The first part was in Helsinki. Second part was a road trip. And the third part was then gathering back in Helsinki to debrief. I was actually thinking about why I wanted to do this video. And I really came to the conclusion that it's because of my age. Being 59 and not knowing my heritage, my family history very well, it started to really affect me and my sisters. I'm the oldest of the five of us, 4 girls, and the youngest is a boy, our brother. But I understand, when you're young, you know, you listen, you're curious, but I certainly never had this kind of deep desire to find out about my past or my family's past, and neither do my kids. I think this type of nostalgia happens as you get older and into midlife. And I've just had the privilege to be able to finally go back home several times. We moved to Canada when I was 6 years old. I never went back till I was about 19, and I went for a short trip, and I had my first son at that point. And then I never went back until I was in my 40s, so that was over 20 years later. And since then, I have now been to Finland several times in the last few years, and it is so nice. And even though I've been gone for so much of my life, every time I go to Finland, it feels like home. So I guess that's what I want to share with you is, if you're one of the people like me that doesn't know all about their family because you moved away, or if you're somebody that has family secrets that like our family, I understand how you feel because that's how I'm feeling, and it feels exciting to find out and to unravel your history a bit. And I love going to visit where my roots are. So to make this a little bit more interesting, I wanted to also show you a few things that I bought and brought back from Finland from my last trip as I talk about the other things. So let's get started, because I made a point of only taking carry-on this time. I had a very short layover in Heathrow Airport, and I was terrified that what happened to us in the last time, where we had to pick up our suitcases and then recheck them in, would happen again. I couldn't afford that kind of time, so I used only a carry-on, and that is not going to happen again. I wanted to buy several things, and I just didn't have room for it. So these are the few things that I grabbed, and it was mostly due to necessity. I don't like shopping. I'm not a shopper unless it's online. I can't stand walking around looking at things. It's too much. What happened was, again, like last time, the weather in Finland was beautiful. It was summer-like. I don't know what I was expecting. Cold, wintry, blustery weather. So I didn't have enough cool weather clothes. So I had to go to the department store. I left my sister one day at the hotel, and I went and spent a few hours at the mall at the department store called Stockman. It's a Finnish department store. And I bought this navy t-shirt. I didn't have enough short sleeves. This is a Stockman Essentials, so their basic brand. I like it because it's stretchy, but it's also made with cotton, modal, and a little bit of elastane. It's mostly half and half modal and cotton and 4% elastane to give it the stretch. It's comfortable and it's just a basic, and I don't usually wear navy, but then wandering around the store, I noticed a brand, Noom, that seemed familiar to me, but I noticed that they had a lot of linen things, and I really wanted a linen dress, but they had nothing that was my size. There had been a sale, and I was at the tail end of the sale. They didn't have anything that I was particularly interested in, except for this linen top. It's also Noom, and it is made from recycled linen. So the brand Noom is by Stockman, designed from Finland and recycled linen. This product is made with leftover textile waste, which is spun into new yarns and fabrics. I really like that about this brand because I noticed a lot of their designs were like that. A perfect warm weather top. I thought I was being smart because I kind of am looking and wanting to buy some new sunglasses. I don't have any expensive sunglasses. I just have some. They're okay, but I thought instead of bringing a pair that I'll go shopping there for some sunglasses. If I see something I really like, I'll buy them. And of course, when you really want to buy something, that's when you can't find it. So I ended up buying these sunglasses from one of the department stores. It might have been Sokos, the other department store. And I'm not crazy about them. They look cute, and they weren't cheap. So I'm not really a fan. But what I hate the most is they have these things that sit on the bridge of your nose and they leave huge indents on your nose that take forever to go away. So because they look good, they're okay, but not for long-term use. So this was a fail on my part. This light green jacket I bought the year before because I had brought this black heavy overcoat, thinking again that it was going to be really cold in April last year, and it turned out to be beautiful. I absolutely love this jacket. It's also by Noom. Like, I'm shocked that everything I've been buying is from Noom. But anyways, this jacket is perfect for our British Columbia weather with the hood that comes on and off because it's so rainy here. It's perfect for fall and winter. And what I really like about it is that I bought it big enough so I can wear things. It's comfortable. I wear things underneath it. It's got huge pockets, so I just can put my keys and my wallet in my pockets, and that's it. So it's perfect. And also, because it's below the knees, when it's kind of windy and rainy, it keeps you warm, even though it's so thin. It's perfect. And I actually, if I see different ones in different colors, I'd probably get another color, maybe a tan or a black one. So this birch bag, my friend Mari from Saima Life posted on her Instagram that somebody she knew or somebody that was in her hometown was retiring from making birch products. So she asked if there was anything that I wanted to buy, and I saw this bag and I just loved it because I think it's perfect for summer. And then this is made from birch bark. So it's nice to have a little bit of Finland with me during the summer months because this is the perfect time to use this type of a bag. It's got her initials on here too. Birch bark products are really popular and are really kind of a staple or something that's you see around quite a bit when you visit Finland. I also noticed that a lot of the women were wearing dresses, and the length that I like, the midi length, so it's just below the knees, a lot of them were wearing those, and they're running around all over the cobbled streets, but they're wearing sensible shoes. They're wearing running shoes and things like that, sneakers and boots. And I really wanted a dress. So I didn't see any linen dresses, but I saw this dress. Now, I am not a fan of floral and a lot of prints, but when I tried this on, and I tried it on and it's quite a bit bigger. I could have sized down a few sizes, but I like the roominess of it. It's also a new product. I just love it. It is so cool to wear on a hot day, and I've had compliments on it, and it's long enough, loose enough, and thin enough that it's perfect if you're just doing all kinds of things. And what's really interesting about it is that this is made from, I'm just going to look, lensing. So I had to look that up. And lensing fibers are man-made from natural wood cellulose molecules derived from renewable sources and eco-consciously manufactured with innovative and sustainable processes. At the end of the life cycle of lensing fibers, they're fully biodegradable. So this dress is basically made from tree fibers. And no wonder it feels so light. It's absolutely, if I didn't love linen, this is my second favorite, or vice versa. They're equally nice, the fabrics. The linen has more structure, whereas this is more flowy and not clingy, but you know what I mean, like it doesn't have the structure. I absolutely like it, and it's got pockets. You have to have a dress with pockets, and it was a very good price also. All right, so the last thing that I brought back from Finland is one of our most prized possessions, and I'm definitely going to get more of these. It's this book on Hankasalmi. So what happened was, we took a train and to Tampere, and then I rented a car and we drove to Hankasalmi, which is a small town in kind of central Finland. It's several hours from Helsinki, and we knew that my mom was born there, that the house that they lived in was there before they moved to Helsinki. So my mom and her younger sisters all passed away from Alzheimer's, as did their dad. So they had always talked about the house that they grew up in, their grandmother, Wilhelmina. And, you know, they told us stories about going to church in the snow, in the sleigh, and, you know, just, you know, their memories of growing up on the farm and on top of this hill. We didn't have any more information than that, because the only person that would have been there before is my uncle, my aunt's husband, is still alive, and he had been there, you know, years and years ago. And he had seen the house. We just drove there and we thought, well, maybe we'll see it. Maybe we'll be able to figure out where it was, but we couldn't not go and waste this trip. We didn't know which way to go, so we ended up going to a government office and hoping we could find out if they had a kind of a directory or some historical place we can look into about addresses or homes or names. She directed us to the building that's away from the church. I think it's like a church directory, because back in the day they used to keep the records at the church. And sure enough, we drove past this beautiful church that I know my mom used to always talk about, and it is beautiful. And down the road from that church was this building, and then I call it the church directory. And inside we met two lovely ladies, and we got so much help. They helped us look through microfiches. We got answers, we got birth dates and names and things like that. And then one of them said, I know a relative of yours. She called him up and he came over, and it turns out it was one of my mom's cousins. Long story short, what they ended up telling us is that there had been a historical book written on the town of Hankasalmi, with all kinds of pictures and history documented in there. So it had been a lot of research to put this book together. My sister ended up buying it, and we looked through it, and this book has pictures of my mom's birth home, my great-grandmother Wilhelmina, the grandmother they loved so much, that I've never seen a picture of. It's got pictures of my grandmother, it's got pictures of my mom's cousins, it's got pictures of my mom as a little girl. This is the most valuable thing, because as we read through it, we even get to see and read about the history of the house that's still there. So on this trip, my mom's cousin took us to the home that they were born in, that's still there in the family, and to the house that my mom grew up in, that my grandfather built for him and for my grandmother and the three girls. That house is still standing and he's living in it. So flipping through this book and being able to go through and translate, because it's written in Finnish, to get more history is something that we're excited to do. And it is going to answer some of the questions that we've always wanted to know. In seeing that and meeting these cousins, we also, when we came back to Canada, were able to do a video call with another cousin of my mom's who's able to give us more information. So needless to say, we're going to be staying in touch and finding out more about the family and the farm that's still there in my family. The other thing is that there's a whole side to my dad's side of the family that's still a slowly unraveling mystery. We found out years ago that my grandfather, my dad's dad, had changed his last name, his surname. Could not figure out what our surname should have been. Recently, we found out what our surname was. We recently got in touch with a relative on my dad's side that's still living in the area and is able to give us more information. And we are researching that right now. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, then watch for more videos that I'm going to put together about the search for our family history, basically on my mom's side and on my dad's side. And I got to tell you, there's some very interesting things that are kind of coming up that I need to figure out more how it's actually possible. If you look at this picture here, and if you know anything about Finland, you might get an idea of what I'm talking about. If you've watched this video this far, thank you so much. I'll be making more videos for sure as I unravel the history of my family. If you're interested in these types of topics, then stay tuned for more. Otherwise, you can always sign up for my newsletter, and I'll put a link down there. It's not a newsletter that comes to you very often. I'm actually taking a little break from it right now, but it is something that when I get into writing, I enjoy writing because I put tidbits about how to stay fit and healthy when you're 50 and beyond. I'd love to have you there if you're interested. Join me there. And I can only guarantee that you're not going to get it too frequently. The most you'll get it is every other week, if that. So I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.